the Louis Bellina Show, final hour Tuesday. This is the Louis Bellina Show presented by CC Electric. Free estimates, military and veteran discounts. It's what they do at CC Electric. Joining me most Tuesdays, final hour, Olin Buchanan. He's with the Go Hour. That's 8 a.m. Monday through Friday here on the Zone. It's part of TexAgs Live. He's with, TexAgs.com. Basically everything TexAgs. You see Olin hiding in the corner. What's up, brother?
Oh, just getting back in the swing of things after a week vacation last year. Normally,
last year or last week? I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Swing. Normally, in this business, you just can't take a vacation in August. It's like being a priest and saying, I want Sundays off. That's you just can't do it. But I had extenuating circumstances, and Billy gave me the green light. So, missed the first week of practice, and now I'm trying to catch up.
I remember asking Billy about that, and he went, Olin who?
Yeah, I'm surprised. He probably did. Now, as you know, my son who was starting his career in Phoenix. And so being the helicopter parents that we are, our only child, we wanted to make sure he got there safely. And
I remember talking to Olin about that, and he said he can never find Phoenix without us, even with a map and a GPS and the ability to buy airplane tickets on his own. If we don't take him, he'll never find Phoenix.
We wanted to move him in as well, help him move in. So we did all those things and just made a vacation out of it. But now we're back.
I love the Phoenix area. Been a million times to Phoenix, Tempe.
We stayed 3 days in Sedona, which was amazing.
Ooh.
And then we went up to the Grand Canyon, which we've all seen numerous pictures of it.
And the whole time your son's like, Dad, I just want to get to my place. I just want to start eating, man.
Once you go there and actually see it, you cannot understand until you've been there how vast it is. I mean, really is a natural wonder.
So your boy's moved in.
He
started his career.
He's on his second day of his career today.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
did you ever think it was going to happen?
Well, I assumed it would.
Dangerous thing, making assumptions.
He did real well in school, and then he did real well in his internships, and I think he'll do well in his career. My son's the type of kid, when he finds something that he likes, he throws himself into it 100%. So I'm sure he'll do well, and he'll be officially off the payroll in January. I told him I'd go ahead and finish the year covering his car insurance, but starting 2027,
100% his own life.
I'm going to have to
own bills.
His own bills, yeah. So
good times. So you are back, and you're back in the saddle again, and boy, Aggie football is back, and we're back in the swing of covering. So we'll get to fall camp shortly, but something that's been haunting me.
Okay.
Why is Aggie football scared to play Texas Tech?
I don't think they're scared to play Texas Tech.
According to Jerry Maguire.
Well,
I know it's not Jerry, everybody. I'm having fun with
this. To me, that's kind of like, remember, they're doing the same thing Texas tried to do. Remember when you go through the media to try to get to pressure a team to play, and it didn't work then.
They want anyone on the list he mentioned to finally say, fine,
right,
we'll play you. And the answer that he knows is that none of the schools on that list of schools he said is going to give up a home date and the money it makes. If he wants to come do a 2-for-0, I think all the schools would play him. Actually, well, in the new 9-game SEC, it's even more problematic. But prior to the 9-game SEC, none of those schools give up home dates.
Well, I think I definitely speak for myself on this. I think I speak for most.
But before the 9-game SEC, Texas Tech wasn't relevant. Never mind. Go ahead.
Right. I think I speak for most. I mean, the vast majority of Aggies, maybe all. When I say, you're going to have one big name non-conference opponent moving forward.
Lubbock's not the destination.
Some teams may not have any.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, as you try to expand your brand nationally, I don't think you want to play regional non-conference games.
You know what's funny about that? If you are doing more than one, and I've said this before, I have no problem playing the old schools like Houston, but if you're doing one, and you said one, right? No, you do exactly what Animal has done. You play Clemson and you play Notre Dame and you play the schools that A&M did as the one. They played the perfect ones. Texas Tech doesn't fit as the one. Arizona State kind of doesn't either if you're playing the one, but we live in different times.
Just remember, 2 years ago, they were playing. Arizona State was playing in the
CFP,
and damn near beat Texas.
But they're still not the one. You don't try and luck into them being the one.
Maybe, but I like that. They're going to be playing Louisville. Louisville's one in a couple of years. Louisville's one of those teams where they could be good, they could not.
Notre Dame is the one. Clemson's the one. Those schools are the one. They had Florida State for a while,
Miami.
but Florida State got removed.
You played Miami.
Right. Thank you. So that's the one.
So don't. I know you're being facetious, but don't say that A&M is afraid to play Texas Tech when they've scheduled non-conference against Miami and Clemson and Notre Dame.
No,
that team's not afraid of anybody. If you're going to play those three people, as well as play an SEC schedule, you're not afraid of anybody.
I've won it. Well. Those were all scheduled before the SEC schedule became this.
Well, still.
Now you have Arizona State and Louisville.
Even in an 8-game schedule, if you'll play, even an 8-game conference schedule, if you'll play Miami, Notre Dame, and Clemson.
The way things are going, the reality of the college CFP, the way the committee's treating things, I'm happy to have Arizona State and Louisville because I see other schools dumping any opponent with a pulse.
Look at USC dumping Notre Dame. Of course, that game's going to come back.
They agreed to a 4-year deal starting in like 2 years or something.
But it was played every year.
And then Indiana dropped Notre Dame.
Yeah, so many teams are dropping strong opponents, which I find that, I don't know. I guess I always thought that if you played a good team, that helps you prepare better than playing a bad team.
It does, but you can't afford it because of the committee.
You can't afford to lose because committee guys will always say, "Oh yeah, we're going to look at strength of schedule," but when it comes right down to it, they're going to look at your win-loss record,
which is so dumb.
Unless you were Florida State a few years ago when they were undefeated and didn't get in the playoff because they said, "Well, you don't have your quarterback." So it's a team game; it's not a one-man game.
Quarterback's the most powerful.
What if my defense goes out there and pitches a shutout?
Quarterback's the most powerful player on the field. Well, without a doubt.
It's true, but that Florida State team beat a ranked opponent in the ACC championship game without that quarterback, Jordan Travis. Anyway, so I personally, and this is what I think will probably happen if A&M does like everybody else is not doing, if A&M continues to play a marquee non-conference Power 4 opponent. I envision the Big Ten and the SEC getting together and doing that. Hey, we're going to play one of your
challenge thing,
challenge type of thing. And I would love to see A&M go up to Penn State, or I've always wanted to see a game at Camp Randall. So we'll see them play Wisconsin. That'd be fun.
Oh, don't do me like that. That'd be a dream.
I've been to Champaign-Urbana, and I don't care if A&M ever goes there.
Look, not every college town's worth visiting. You don't want to probably go to Purdue. You don't want to go to Illinois. You don't want to go to Iowa State.
Champaign makes Starkville look like Nashville.
You can't mean that. You cannot mean that. Starkville is the most aptly named town I've ever been to in Stark.
Maybe things have changed in Champaign-Urbana since I've been there. And that was 20 plus years ago. But unless they have, I would say Champaign is every bit as stark as Starkville.
Starkville's bleak. Oh, but never mind. I'm not going to go down a Starkville 30-minute rant. I have other rants I'll digress to. But back to, Texas. And you know what, though? To give Johnny McGuire's credit for all this, he's doing what you need to do in your Texas Tech. You have to pound your chest.
Yeah,
you have to bring attention to your school. You're playing in a conference that doesn't get the most of it anyway. I don't actually, if I'm just trying to be cold and analytical, he's doing what he has to.
That's true, because at the end of the season, if they don't win the Big 12, but they have a 10-win season, 11-win season, and people are talking about, hey, strength of schedule. Well, we try.
If they have 2 losses, They should not be in because one of their losses would have to be trash.
Well, what if
they play nobody? You know they have 0 teams on their schedule that finished post-spring rank, as a projected ranked team. Not one.
What if they had 2 losses and both of them were in to the Big 12 champion, right? And that champion BYU is undefeated, right?
I don't think they played BYU until the Big 12 title game.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Their schedule's so bad.
So it is. It is.
It's a mud.
Kind of like Notre Dame's, except for one game. Notre Dame has a 1-game schedule.
The Miami again?
Miami.
Yeah.
And I think they get that one at home. So anyway, but you can. That's your argument. We tried to play them. Nobody will play us. That we're that good. So yeah.
Okay, but they don't need an argument. Win the games. That's like Texas last year at 9-3. The argument they tried to make. No. Just beat Florida and you're in, bro.
Yeah.
There's no argument. See,
they never
a lot of
that
times
part
when
up.
you try and argue, no. You're missing step 1. Don't fail. You don't have to argue. Don't fail.
I always say you did not miss the playoff because you lost to Ohio State.
At all.
You missed
because you lost to Florida. The end.
Own it. So, yeah, if you lost to a 4-8 Florida or whatever it was, I think they're 4-8.
And Texas Tech, if they miss it right, it'll not be because these schools wouldn't play you. You're going to miss it because you lost to some mutt teams. You lost to some bad teams.
But you're always going to try, like the basketball coaches every year, you always are going to campaign, and you got to it's like, remember, if you can go all the way back to the craziest college football season ever, 2007, and LSU had 2 losses in overtime, and Les Miles said, yeah, but we're undefeated in regulation, and it worked.
Mac Brown campaigned into at least one. Remember, many years, many beers at all hazes, but at least one playoff that I kind of remember.
It wasn't a playoff. It was he got into the Rose Bowl.
Sorry, thank you. There you go.
And Cal got left out, and so Cal was. I know this because I'm married to a Cal grad, and Cal.
And she lets you know.
Oh yeah, and Cal. To this day, Cal grads are mad at Mac Brown for doing what you just said, what you're supposed to do.
And that's what I said when all the Aggies were hating on Mac Brown.
That would have been 04. And I think Aaron Rodgers might have been the Cal quarterback then. So anyway, that was 04 because the next year, Texas won the national championship.
And again, at the time I said that I did. I used the same exact phrasing where Mac's doing what you wish your coaches would do.
Yeah.
Get them in.
In fact, the only time I've ever seen a representative from a university not
Eric Hyman, Aggie baseball.
Eric Hyman,
I see. I knew within 3 words what you were saying.
Everybody else, they're just arguing like a politician for votes, and even sometimes they're not even believing their own argument, but they still make it.
And Eric Hyman was like, for the good of the tournament, I will volunteer my school to get screwed over royally to help out the field. Makes sense.
You got to really look at that TCU team and what they were. And by the way, you got to manage your expectations. Good Lord. Whoever's idea it was to hire Eric Hyman should be fired if he's still around.
Okay, no. I had a different perspective. And you'll always tell me if you think I'm full of it.
Okay.
He was hired for a job because he was an SEC AD when A&M was transitioning and newer bodies were held, and he had negotiating leverage. They kept him too long. There's a difference. Once his job was fulfilled, it should have been over.
I think the whole idea of we got to hire somebody with SEC experience
because of a transition. No, for the transition.
I know. I think it's still
kept
way
him too
overblown.
long.
Yeah, I just thought he was a bad hire.
All right. Again, like if you hire an AD for facilities, once all the facilities are done, move on. Don't sit there for 2 years later and then have them touch things they're not what you hired for.
What did Eric Hyman do as an athletic director to help A&M's move to the SEC?
You would have to be in on the entire process.
I can tell you. I can tell you. Nothing. Everything would have happened the same way.
Okay. I wasn't there the entire process. They wanted. That was obviously why he was picked.
Yeah,
and if he did nothing, okay.
I agree. That's obviously why he was picked. I'm just saying you didn't have to do that. You could have gone out and get the best guy, and maybe he didn't have ties to the SEC, but he's the best guy. And again, all Eric Hyman did was draw a check until it was time for him to officially retire.
Oh, I knew he was here too long. That part is not that part's not a question or even a debate or a conversation. He definitely was here too long. We'll grab a timeout, come back. Hey, you want to talk some Aggie football?
Let's do it.
You do? Are you sure?
There's never a bad time to talk Aggie football.
I like you, man. This is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, Residential, Commercial, Industrial Services. It's what they do at CC Electric. This is the Louis Bellina Show, Tuesday on The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Listen to The Zone on the Zone app.
Download the app.
Yeah. Thanks to Loyalty Plumbing. The pros at Loyalty Plumbing are ready to serve you, Aggieland.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Visit them. LoyaltyPlumbingLLC.net.
The Louis Bellina Show, Tuesday on The Zone. The Louis Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio with Olin Buchanan. That is also a Tuesday thing. I guess a programming service announcement, PSA. Olin will not be the next 2 Tuesdays. Nope. He will be Mondays at 1. And the why, easy. Aggie football, fall camp. The next couple of Tuesdays, they're going to be practicing doing media stuff. And Olin has a job. I didn't know about this until recently. So Olin will not be able to join me on Tuesdays. And a week without Olin is not a week I want to live in.
No, thank you.
I mean, come on. I have fun, man. You know a thing or two. I get to help educate you, help you move along in your career. This is so much fun for me. So Olin will be Mondays at 1 next couple of weeks. Just, if you get the Zone newsletter, you know this. If you follow me Twitter X, I remind you every morning, every day. So, but Olin the next 2 weeks will be Mondays at 1 because he's got a job to do. Yeah. Pretty simple, straightforward. You've been out there now. How many practices?
Just one. I was there.
Really?
I was there last night.
Which was the first time the media got to see the full practice.
So 7 to 9. You like what? First of all, the receivers are really good. I mean, they're really good. You can get an idea. They're playing in shells, right? Short shoulder pads, helmet. But you can still see these guys are really good, making some catches, some spectacular catches out there. And I see like Reuben Owens and Jamari Morrow making some really good runs. And I say, okay, man, that looked good. But then I have to ask myself, okay, now wait a minute. How much of that's would that have been a big time run in a game? And some of them you think, yeah, I think it would be. But the others, you got to understand that the defense isn't trying.
They can't go 100%.
Right. They're not
doing exotic blitzes. They're really not trying to confuse people.
They got their first full pads practice, I think Wednesday, tomorrow, or maybe the day after, maybe Thursday. And so then you get a little bit better idea. I think just from what I watched, I think DJ Hicks is going to have that breakout year at DT. I think he's really good, and it's going to be. I think he's going to have that year. But they're going to be. I saw Houston Thomas do what I think he's going to do a lot this year. I saw him catch a pass and turn up field and still get some yards again, short. So who knows? Skill wise, I have no question about them. They're going to be good at the skill positions. The secondary is going to be good. I mean, there were some outstanding catches made, and some of them were made while the guy was just well covered. And then I saw some interceptions. Yes, believe it or not, I saw an interception.
Do you have any photo evidence of this?
No,
video or it didn't happen, bro?
I can't prove it.
Yeah, you can't prove it.
I saw a couple of guys make nice plays on the ball. Julio Humphrey had a really nice play on a ball. Marcel was throwing to Isaiah Horton, probably about a 25 to 30-yard pass. And Julio Humphrey was able to kind of come underneath and knock the ball away just before it got to Isaiah. And you see a play like that, you say, okay, that's a big-time play even in shells. But it's still going to come down to how's that offensive line going to play, how's that defensive front going to be. Sure.
Everything you said fits kind of what we thought or knew or expected, projected heading into fall camp. Last night you mentioned Marcel. I saw went viral, blew up my phone, that he made his best pass ever last night. Ever.
Ever, huh? Okay, what was that?
he hit someone in stride like Horton, the pinpointness of it, like it was the most perfect throw he's ever made.
Yeah. Okay.
It's obviously not the biggest throw. I mean, the Notre Dame game would probably claim that one, but maybe the most perfect throw. Everything was effortless in motion perfection.
I think of that one to Ashton Bethel Roman for a touchdown, the second touchdown against South Carolina in that comeback. Boy, that was pretty good throw.
Yeah, it was.
Remember early in the year, people were saying Marcel can't throw the deep ball. He can't complete the deep ball, and then he starts hitting deep balls. He only hit Mario Craver for a deep ball in the second play of the game against Florida. Had that one against South Carolina, and then I remember the throw he threw to Casey Concepcion that set up the game-winning touchdown against South Carolina. You can't throw it any better than that. Had a deep ball to Mario Craver against Miami, but they had the ball inside the 10 and got a field goal out of it. Marcel's a good quarterback. I know you agree.
Yeah. I've talked about him a lot. I waited till August. I didn't spend 7 months of the offseason constantly talking about Marcel. I did when I felt it was appropriate. I've waited for August to talk about him. So I've talked a lot.
Yeah. The question about Marcel is how good is he going to be? And a big part of that is are you going to reduce the interceptions? I saw somebody, I can't remember who tweeted this out yesterday, but it just tweeted out the reactions or the quotes that two anonymous defensive coordinators in the SEC had.
It was from ESPN.com.
Was it?
They did
Arch?
Insider intel.
Okay, they had Arch.
On key quarterbacks for the year.
Miles,
yeah, Lenore Sellers, Sam Levitt.
The ones I saw was Mateer, Arch, and Marcel.
Yep.
And they said something like, well, Marcel wants to...
He thinks he's a true quarterback, and we want him to think that way? Is that the quote you saw?
But he says, because he's really dangerous when he runs, and that's what scares everybody.
Yep.
I think you're going to see a Marcel Reed that's going to run more often, but I think you're also going to see a Marcel Reed that's going to be a better passer. They're not – Marcel can throw from the pocket, and he does – but, they've talked about – he even told us in Tampa at SEC Media Days, Marcel did it, hey, we're moving the pocket, which I think is good for several reasons. Number one, Marcel's 6'1", mate? 6'1"? Got 6'6" linemen, get better vision, move him around. Plus, anytime Marcel's on the move, even if he's not running, defense is going, oh my God, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? And guys are going to break.
Keep
open.
them guessing, right?
Yeah. So I think you're going to see a good season for Marcel, provided the offensive line is adequate. Did I say great? No, I said adequate.
Yeah, they have to be average.
If
they can't be negative. Negative is negative for a reason. The word applies. If they're just average, you're fine.
Now, I think that I really like what little I've seen, and I'm talking about going back to the spring, of Ray Coney. And he could come in and he could be a really, really, turn out to be a really great addition that makes a big difference on that defense. Maybe he'll be that guy that's a catalyst, because not on his own, but a catalyst to that defense, solving the misfits problems that lead so consistently to the long runs. Because he just looks like a linebacker and plays like it. So I still wonder where the pass rush is going to come from. And I keep hearing Anto Saka. Okay. He's this, he's that. I heard somebody today say that he's projected as could be a top 10 pick in the draft. I'm going, okay, that sounds great, but he had 3 sacks last year at Northwestern. But that's the key right there at Northwestern. Because you're thinking, okay.
Minimal support around him.
Did he have any support?
Minimal talent around him, even if he has support. Did they scheme for him?
Yeah.
There's so much goes into that.
Sure. Is he getting double teamed on every play and even chipped?
Or tripled.
Right, yeah. So I'm sure that's what's – and we're going to see Anto tomorrow, so I'm going to have to ask him about that. And I will, and he'll probably –
You're going to ask him how bad did your teammates suck at Northwestern?
No, I'll find another one, because I know no one's ever going to talk bad about their teammates, past or present. So you got to be have a little more finesse.
You want me to ask him? You need someone with no finesse?
So I'll be thinking on that between now and then. But between him and Marco Jones, I think they're going to have a pretty decent pass rush. As well as if we see the best version of DJ Hicks, if he explodes and be what I always think he's shown flashes of, I believe it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could be A&M's best interior pass rusher since Justin Madubuike.
I understand what you're saying, because my thought process is you don't need one person to replace. You can have three and be better as a unit at pressuring the quarterback than an individual was.
And it's the same concept with the receivers. You're not going to be you can't lose a guy like Casey Concepcion and say, oh, we're better. But
I don't know. I've been saying this all offseason. I don't know if that statement's true, because if your number 3 is better than he was himself, but he's good enough to be a 2,
right?
And then your 2 isn't as good as your other 2, but he's an NFL guy himself. And your 1 is healthy all year and better than Mario Craver was an All-American until he got hurt. Yeah. Your wide receiving core actually can be better than last year.
Maybe it can be, but I'm never.
And now we're talking about Bussy being a 4 who might be a 2.
Now, what's your reaction to that? All the Bussy mania from the last week.
Okay, here you go. My Bussy mania, and I just talked with Tony a little bit yesterday. So, this is the same talk that was with Ashton Bethel Roman last year. And remember, Roman didn't bust out until the second half of last year.
Second half of the season really came on.
If Bussy's your 4, which gives him time to in season get his reps, make big plays along the way, and then in the second half, which if you look at A&M's schedule, that's when the price of poker is going to go up, and that's fine, cool, awesome. I hope he does bust out. I hope he does have the breakout second half that Bethel Roman had last year. If the other 3 are where they're at, and we think, and then you have Bussy right behind it, they are going to be better than last year's wide receiving core easily.
And Aaron Gregory's a freshman that I think is going to have to play. So that receiving core it was really good last year. I think it's just going to be deeper.
But Craver got hurt.
And Bethel Roman didn't show up till
second half
for various reasons.
Development. I have no problems with it.
Bussy has added so much mass. He looks like a running back now. So I could envision him catching a slant and some skinny nickelback trying to tackle him. And
someone that has a half step off on him. That's all he needs.
And he's fast. Now he's big and fast. So I'm really excited to see what he and all these receivers are going to do, and what Marcel and I'm a believer in Ruben Owens. I mean, I like about Ruben Owens. I was reading as much as I could on the Aggies while I was in Arizona, and Ruben acknowledging, I had some plays, big plays, and I stumbled, and I gotta clean that up.
That's leadership.
He acknowledges it.
That's leadership. When we come back, more with OB. Don't forget, you can text your questions for Olin to 979-693-1150. Light up the inbox, 979-693-1150. This is the Louis Bellina Show, Tuesday, from inside the Charles Schwab studio. This is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Listen to The Zone on the Zone app. Thanks to Loyalty Plumbing. The pros at Loyalty Plumbing are ready to serve you 24/7. 24/7. For big emergencies or small.
The Louis Bellina Show on a Tuesday with Olin Buchanan. A reminder yet again, Olin will be the next 2 Mondays. 1 o'clock. Why? Aggie football fall camp, man. He's got to work Tuesdays, time slots, media obligations. He's got a real job. I mean, if you call it that, we do sports for a living, so it's as real as you believe that is. We get to have fun. It's the Louis Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio with Olin. I got a couple of text messages if you're interested. Are you sure?
Yeah.
They asked this question. I'm not going to read their question because it's a bizarre question where they want to know who are the players that nobody expects. And if we tell you, then you'll be expecting them. So it kind of defeats it because they're like, who's going to be Onyedem? Like, they want to know who are the players that nobody knew were going to break out.
Well, Damian Sanford, when he was in Tampa for SEC Media Days, really talked about Angelo McCollum, defensive tackle, transfer from Illinois. And he talked about him specifically as somebody that, watch out for this guy. It's got maybe have more juice than everybody expected. So I would look at him as a guy that can come in and make a big impact. Any of the guys in the O-line. I mentioned Aaron Gregory's a guy that's probably going to play. I don't want to go all in too much on a freshman, especially when you got a lot of receivers that are back. I think I got to tell you this. Maybe I'm biased, but I think Houston Thomas is going to be a major contributor at tight end. He may not start, but that kid's got. I was telling David Nuno today. I see some Jay Sternberger qualities in Houston Thomas. Good hands, but that ability to run with it after you catch it. A&M hasn't had a lot of tight ends lately that's going to make a big play after they catch it. Now, I'm not saying that Nate Bokacher didn't make big play. He made one of the biggest plays ever.
It's the biggest play of the season.
Right. It's in the end zone, falling down. He had a touchdown against South Carolina. Caught it, turned around, he's in the end zone. But I don't ever remember Bokacher, as good as he was last year, catching it and then picking up another 15 or 20 yards of yak. Right. I think Houston Thomas might get you some yak.
Next text message,
okay,
Peruna in College Station. Louis, question for you and OB. Which game sticks out to you as the gotta win for a successful season?
LSU. Early in the year, a team that's supposed to be pretty good. I think if you win that one, especially over there, I think if you win that game against LSU, you're going to be able to move forward thinking, okay, they're going to have they have a chance to have a really big year. If you lose that one, some doubt and questions are going to arise. You could still go in, you could make that same argument and say Alabama going there, because you could say, you're provided you don't have a major catastrophe, you're probably 6-1 at the worst going to Alabama.
I talked about the schedule this morning. People are talking about how tough it is. I don't think being a ranked team makes you hard anymore. I take a look at the top 25 right now. Once I hit 15, I don't think anyone is to be feared, 15 through 25. I don't even think you have to be very good anymore to be ranked. I think parity's hit college football really hard. I look at A&M's schedule. Take a look at the first 2 months. You got tough road games, but even in month 1, LSU's your first test. Because Arizona State's nice, but they're like 44 in the country. And Kentucky, you got to show up. But really, are we sitting here hand-wringing over Kentucky? LSU's the first test. Month 2, you go to Columbia.
That could be dicey. You're gonna have to earn it in Columbia,
right? But you're better. Every SEC schedule ever has 5 Missouri games that you have to show up, play well, and earn it. That will exist every year, regardless of the name that'll be in that slot.
Yeah,
that's not a Missouri thing. That's SEC football.
Always. I don't know if Missouri's going to be as good on defense as they were last year, but they'll probably be better at quarterback because A&M was playing their number 2 quarterback.
The first 2 months is built where it's the last game of every month, and you're allowed to build, you're allowed to learn, you're allowed to develop. You're allowed to course correct in it. You have the bye weeks at the right spot.
So what's your answer to the question? Alabama? Okay.
And I'll tell you why I picked Alabama. It's not because they're Alabama. Nick Saban's not there anymore. Right. I don't look at him like that. If you lose to LSU.
But come back and beat Alabama?
And that sets up November. You've proven how far you've come. You still only have 1 loss, so you're alive for all your hopes and dreams. Alabama. Because you can't take the second loss in Bama going into OU, Texas, and Tennessee.
Okay.
I think Alabama is the and let's say you beat LSU. You can't take a loss to Alabama going into November. Like in any scenario I have, whether it's to keep the CFP hopes alive or to set up how brutal November is going to be, you can't lose to Bama and Tuscaloosa. I just don't think that's the must win.
Okay.
Any loss would either end your CFP hopes or set up doubt for November. I don't think you can lose in Tuscaloosa.
I'm really trying to figure out, and as someone who doesn't cover Alabama, so I don't know all the ins and outs of that program. Why Alabama would be considered or projected to be better than they were last year?
I wish I could answer that, but to be fair, have you seen where everyone's picking them in the preseason rankings like 16 and 18 and 14 even? Do you actually have a problem with that ranking for them to start the year?
No, but I've heard, like I'll see people talking about, this year and
quit hanging out with influencers that are trying to get clicks and likes, man. Because I look at rankings, and every time I look up 14, 16, 18,
and they might be really good, but I keep hearing that their defense is going to be one of the best defenses they've ever had since.
No, they're not. They're soft as hell under DeBoer.
Well,
they can have all the talent, but they play so soft. That's what we've seen for 2 years. Or all of a sudden they're hard. All of a sudden they're OG Nick Saban defense again in one off season.
Yeah.
When nothing has indicated that for 2 years. On 3 did a top 25 for what it's worth, right?
Okay.
They put Bama at 14.
Oh.
Now here's who's behind them. Tell me if you would move Bama backwards. Okay. BYU at 15, Michigan at 16, Washington at 17, Penn State at 18, SMU at 19.
No.
Right.
Those teams, believe it or not, the one team that I might, if I had to pick,
SMU.
SMU's the team I'd put ahead of all those others.
Exactly.
Penn State, to me, I don't get it. You're basically...
their schedule. Their schedule
the schedule, I'll see that.
But they don't play any of the top teams in the Big Ten.
But they got something like 20 guys from Iowa State.
Their schedule.
They couldn't win at Iowa State.
Their schedule. I'm sorry. I know you're right. But gosh, they have such a great schedule. They don't play anyone. They only have to be so good to win X amount of... okay, maybe them being top 25 in year one, but they can go 8 wins without breaking a sweat. So then there's 4 more games they have to work to win at most. They just got a great schedule, that's all. Boy, they have a nice schedule.
If the
who are these teams? Remember what I was just saying about being ranked is not that big a deal? Do you see what happened once at 15? BYU 15.
Yeah.
16, Michigan. 17's Washington. The Penn State team that you and I agreed, they're just not that big a deal, but they're 18.
I do think
Tennessee's 20, Utah 21, Louisville 22, Cougs. Go Cougs, right? U of H 23, Iowa 24, Florida's 25.
I do think Michigan will be better just because of Willingham.
Oh, I agree with better, but legitimately, how good? I mean, 9-3, 8-4.
The thing about
I don't even buy Michigan, their quarterback at all.
That's the thing about Michigan. Now, Whittingham has a history of...
He couldn't win in Utah in his last couple of years, right? Couldn't.
He has a history of developing quarterbacks.
Yeah, but just didn't at Utah in his last years. But now he's going to do it at Michigan.
He had a good quarterback that was always hurt.
Refused to move on.
Well, the kid was so good that they kept hoping for him.
Not if you're always injured.
Right. Well, they say the best ability is availability.
Good call.
Sure didn't
I hadn't heard that. I actually love that.
Really? You haven't heard that?
No, I haven't. I think that's brilliant.
It's true.
So I just, again, for me, just because you're ranked doesn't mean you're formidable. That's just not how it works anymore.
I agree. I'm not going to argue that.
And Alabama at 14, 16, I'd take Alabama over any of those teams I just said.
Regardless of rankings, I'm trying to, because I heard in Tampa, why is Alabama better? And they say, that defense is going to be great. And I'm like, okay, they do got a freshman running back that's supposed to be a hot shot.
I have Alabama and LSU in the exact same category, where if you can say whatever you want. Just in the end, don't tell me they're a top 10 team. And if you don't say they're a top 10 team, I'm fine with whatever you want to say. You could tell me they're better. You could tell me that they're the best team. You could tell me that LSU, Kiffin walks on water at LSU. And then you go, and they're 14? Okay. If that's what it means to you. Just don't say, and I have them at 8 in the country, because then I have to argue with you.
I wouldn't protest about Ole Miss, and I'll tell you why.
I think they're top 10.
The same reason that you should give A&M a benefit of the doubt because of Mike Elko's track record in the portal. Well, Lane Kiffin's got a pretty good track record in portal, too.
OB Monday?
I'll be here.
Have fun.
All right, we'll see you.
Olin Buchanan will be back on Monday at 1. Up next, Community Spotlight. It is the Louie Bellina Show on the Zone.